Guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about headlights. Please don't switch off because I know this is a topic that's probably not the most exciting. Guys, my name is Rick and this is the HDVIBE channel, but I have a really cool video for you today. I'm actually going to be comparing three different LED headlights, two of which are Harley Davidson. One is an Adaptive Daymaker, the second is the Projector Daymaker, and the third is the Custom Dynamics Adaptive LED Headlight that I'm going to install on the Streetlight ST. And what we're going to do, we're going to compare the coloration in terms of how bright these are. We're going to compare them out on the road at night and see which one throws off a wider, brighter, safer beam. We're going to talk about the pricing and which one might be a good option for you. And finally, I'm going to give you my perspective on which one I think is the best out of these three. And we'll get into all that right after this. So what we have here, guys, on the right, that light beam is actually from the Daymaker LED projector style headlight that's on the Streetlight ST. Again, that is the stock. Pretty bright white. And then on the left, you can see that beam kind of coming up slightly higher on the left side of that beam. That is the Daymaker Adaptive Headlight on the 2021 CVO Streetlight. So in terms of their color, they're pretty similar between the two. I would say they're pretty white, and that's what the information says from Harley Davidson, that is a white light on both of those. Again, they don't provide much information, but as you can see on this white background, the light is pretty white on each one of these. So now what I'm going to do is actually install the LED Adaptive Probeam Headlight from Custom Dynamics on the 2023 Streetlight ST, and then we'll compare again. We'll get the same shot to compare the brightness of that light, and I'll compare it primarily to the Streetlight CVO because, as you can see here, the light color is about the same between the two, so I think that will give us the best comparison. Guys, now I'm ready to actually replace this stock Daymaker headlight with the Custom Dynamics Adaptive LED Headlight. And removing and changing out a headlight on a Harley Davidson touring motorcycle, especially the batwing, is pretty straightforward. So there's one screw here which I'm going to remove. It's actually just a Phillips, so you will need kind of a shorter Phillips so you can get in here between, and it's kind of at an angle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and pull that ring off. Okay, so I got the ring off. It was a little challenging. The screw that goes in here was super tight, and it took a little bit of time for me to get that out of there, but not too bad. Again, it was just a Phillips there. Now that I've gotten the ring off there, now I just need to remove the screws that are actually holding the headlight into the bike, into the fairing. And there's these black tabs that are coming off of the headlight itself. So there's one here, here, and then over here. And those are all, again, just Phillips, and I'm hoping they're easier to come off than what was for the trim ring. So let me get those off and then I'll show you how this comes out of the fairing. So after much trial and tribulation, I finally got these screws to come out. Man, they were in there tight. I ended up having to use some WD-40 and light to get that out. So that removes this final ring. Now the headlight's out and we'll just disconnect it right here. And that's it. Now we're ready to install the Custom Dynamics Adaptive LED Headlight into the original housing. Okay, so now I'm ready to put in the Probeam Adaptive LED Headlight. As you can see, it has these three projectors here that will go toward the bottom, and then all your adaptive LEDs that are running along this area will go toward the top. Now, as you can see, it does have a different connector than the harness that comes off of the bike stock. So we will have to use this supplied harness here, which actually will just plug into this. And then, like the stock one, this will plug into that, and then we'll be ready to go. I'll reuse those rings that we just took off and the screws that were supplied, and then that will be ready to go. Okay, and now we have the adaptive LED light from Custom Dynamics installed. So let's turn this thing on and make sure it works properly. So watch this. This is going to be pretty cool. All right, we are good. So now that we got that in, I'm actually going to go ahead and switch these out to Custom Dynamics Genesis 4 turn signals, so I get that bright white run and then that super bright amber flash on turn. So essentially what we're going to do, we're just going to pop these lens covers off, pop out these incandescent bulbs, and replace those with the Genesis 4s. So now we're going to compare the Custom Dynamics LED Adaptive Headlight in terms of the color. This will be on the right side. So we're going to power that up now. And you can see that pretty cool rotation there. And then the CVO, the Harley Davidson, on the left side. So if I look at these, to be honest, I mean, from a color perspective, they look to be pretty close to the same spectrum. The Custom Dynamics is a 5000K color, which is almost a daylight white or a white. And the Harley Davidson Adaptive LED Headlight, they claim it is a white. So if you look at these two against this white background, to me it looks pretty close. So the next thing I want to do is actually take these out on the road and let you guys see the difference. Again, we're going to start with the Daymaker stock headlight that comes in the 2023s, the Streak Light ST and specifically. Then I'll show you the Streak Glide CVO's adaptive headlight, and then finally we'll wrap up again with some nighttime shots of the Custom Dynamics Adaptive LED Headlight. So guys, we're going to start off with the Daymaker that's stock on the 2023 Streak Light ST. So as you can see, this has a pretty bright white light that's pretty concentrated. Again, this is a projector style bulb. But as you can see, as I'm heading down the road here, you get a little bit on the sides is very black dark. It doesn't give you a good span of light across the entire road. It's sort of very concentrated, almost like a V that's kind of going out. So while it gives pretty good bright light sort of out beyond the bike and then kind of close to the bike, you can see there's this area in the middle that's a little bit more faint. But overall, it's not bad. It doesn't light up the ditch to ditch as you would like to see. And obviously, as I'm going around the corner here, the light only moves with the fairing because this is obviously mounted to the forks and that's going to go with it. So you don't get that spread of light until you actually turn the handlebars and the forks. So now we're going to go out on the CVO, and this again is the adaptive. So as you can see, I'm parked here again. You got a nice broad light spectrum here. It's pretty bright. As we looked at the light coloration, it's pretty close, I think, but the light is more spread, even just sitting here at this stop point. Now, as we're going down the road, you can really see here, the light is really going ditch to ditch. Now, it may not be as bright and concentrated as the projector, but it is pretty darn bright. The adaptive nature, as I'm going around this corner, really brightened up the entire road from left to right, versus the projector style Daymaker didn't really do that. It just sort of the light followed the handlebars as I turned through. But this one, as I began to turn, I got more light right and left, and it was much brighter. Now let's check out the Custom Dynamics Adaptive LED. Again, I'm parked here, and you have a good spread of light. I would say from a light color perspective, the spectrum, again, it's 5000K, which is white or almost daylight white. Between 5,000 and 6,000 is really daylight. So it's 5,000, again, DOT and ECE compliant. So now as we're moving down the road, you can see ditch to ditch. It is bright, it is lit up, and I can see really ditch to ditch as I'm going down the road. Now again, as I'm going around the curve, not dissimilar from the CVO's headlight, again, I'm getting that broad swipe of light across that entire curve so I can see both sides of the road and I can see down the road as well, so that I do get more light on the subject. I can see ditch to ditch, and I feel safer when I'm going down the road. So that's really a good comparison, I think, of the three. If you compare the Daymaker projector to either of the adaptive, I think it's pretty clear that that one is not as superior as the other two. Get to the adaptive LEDs, these lights are pretty darn close. I would maybe give the edge maybe to the Custom Dynamics, and there's one other feature on the Custom Dynamics that may push it over the edge. So that's a good comparison out on the road. Wrap up in terms of pricing on these. Guys, now let's talk about pricing after we've seen that comparison before we make our final decision as to which really is the winner here. So I have one of these halogen headlights on your bike. This actually came off my 2019 Road King special. So even at 2019, Harley was still putting these halogens on, and I would highly suggest you replace it. So from a cost perspective, obviously the Adaptive on the CVO was stock, the Daymaker was stock on the 2023 Street Glide ST, but let's just look at pricing. So if you want to get the Adaptive headlight and you think that is a good way to go and you want to get a Harley, that's going to cost you about $903, okay? The Daymaker headlight, just a 7-inch for your touring bikes, I believe is right around $700. Again, I'll have those exact prices down in the description. Now, if you want to get the Adaptive Custom Dynamics LED, which is by JW Speaker, made in the USA, and actually it is a lot lighter than that Harley Daymaker light that I switched out on the Street Glide ST. It is at $699. So it's about $200 less than the Adaptive headlight, and it's actually a little bit less expensive than just the Projector Daymaker headlight from Harley Davidson. So that's the pricing. We've now seen sort of the light color spectrum. They're all pretty close. The only one that actually lists the actual color spectrum is the Custom Dynamics, and it is at 5000K, which is a white or almost a daylight white. I would say the Harleys are pretty similar to that. So from that perspective, if you're just looking at coloration against the white background, pretty similar. So now, from the road perspective, I would say the Daymaker is super bright and concentrated. But as you saw in the video, there's one section that's sort of very faint. It's not as bright. And then your corners, if you looked at that, the corners were really cut off and it was just completely black on either side. Now, the Adaptive LEDs from both Harley Davidson and Custom Dynamics, I would say probably pretty close. The only thing I will give to the Custom Dynamics is the cool factor, and that's that sweeping of those Adaptive LEDs that are up on the top of that when it starts up. Pretty cool. I would say, you know, if you're looking corner to corner and going around the corner as I did, both of the Adaptives are probably pretty similar, and I think that actually the Harley one is actually made by JW Speaker as well. It just doesn't have that sweeping motion, but you're going to save a bunch of money. So from my perspective, I think the way to go if you want to get an LED headlight and replace this halogen, or you have the Daymaker like I did and you want to go just in that next step, no need to go to Harley. Stick with the Custom Dynamics at $699. So guys, if you like this type of content and you like this comparison, and you got a comprehensive comparison of 3 really, really good headlights, please give this a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below. And when you do subscribe, leave a comment saying I subscribe so I can personally reach out and thank you for supporting the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you do get notified every time we do put out new content. And also go out and check out the over 170 videos I have on tips, tricks, rides, reviews, installs on these Harley Davidson touring motorcycles, which, as you know, or maybe you don't, I have a 2021 CVO Street Glide, the 2023 Street Glide ST, and the 2021 Road Glide Special. And with that, guys, I want to leave you with this thought. Life is short. Get out and ride the bike. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.